Parshas Korach. This week's Parsha, Moshe gets upset in Perek Tes Zayin, Pasuk Tes Vav. That's 16:15. The verse says, Vayichar l'Moshe ma'od. Moshe got very agitated. Vayomer el Hashem, and he says to God, Al tefenu min chasam, don't turn to their meal offering. Lo chamor echad mehem nasasi, v'lo hariosi esachad mehem. I haven't used any of their donkeys to carry my loads, and I haven't done evil to any of them. So this verse, without additional explanation, is perplexing. First of all, why does Moshe get agitated? Where do we see Moshe get agitated against individuals? We see that he gets agitated to protect Klal Yisrael. We see that he gets agitated in addressing the general congregation. He even calls them mamrim. Some commentaries say that his use of that term is excessive. But here, he says, Al tefenu min chasam, don't accept their offering. Whoa. Somebody's bringing an offering to the Almighty, and Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Almighty, don't accept it. What is going on? So if we look at the background of this, we see that this is in the context of a rebellion by Korach and his band. And among them was Dasan v'Aviram. Moshe had tried to talk Korach off the limb, if you will, and tell him, look, you don't have it so bad. He says, this is in Tezayin Hey, that's 16:5. The verse says, Vaydaber Hashem el Korach ve'el kol adosah lemor, and Moshe speaks to Korach and his people, and it says, in the morning, you'll see that who's really the one, after a test that Moshe would perform. But in the meantime, he says, and this is now Pasuk Ches, he says, Vayomer Moshe el Korach. Moshe says to Korach, Shimu no b'nei Levi, please, sons of Levi, listen to me. Don't you have enough? Hamad mikem kivdei Elokei Yisrael eschem edas Yisrael. Isn't it enough that Hashem separated you, designated you, l'akriv eschem love, he brought you closer, la'avod es avodas mishkan Hashem, v'lamod lefnei yodol l'shor sam, to perform the service in the tabernacle, and to stand before the people. You'll get your covenant, and to serve them. And he brought you, and he brought you and your other Levites, and you also want the kahuna. He says, and you, all of you, Varon Mahu, what are you complaining about Aaron? Kisalino Alav, why are you complaining? Korach doesn't answer. Or at least there's no record of Korach answering. So then Moshe tries another tack, and he calls Dasan v'Aviram, and he tells them to come, and they say, no, we're not going. In this context, and the Torah says that, or Rashi explains on this, it says, Vaishnach Moshe l'kol Dasan v'Aviram. Moshe goes to call Dasan v'Aviram, and it says, Mikan she'ein machzikin b'machlokas, that we see that you're not supposed to indulge or persist in a dispute. You should try to resolve a dispute. So Moshe talks to Korach. Korach doesn't answer. Moshe talks to Dasan v'Aviram, and they say, no, we're not going. He says, come, let's talk about it. No, we're not going. And in that context, Moshe gets very agitated. And the Meforshei Rashi explain that there's a difference between Vayichar and Vayichar Af. Vayichar Af means he was angry. Here he wasn't angry. He was, as Rashi says, Nitzta'er ad lama'od. He was extremely troubled. And then in that context, he's troubled. He's troubled by the lack of response by Korach, and he's troubled by the stark refusal of Dasan v'Aviram, and they're two different things. Rashi says the lack of response. If somebody's engaged in an argument with a friend, it can be an intense argument, and he raises a point, and the friend responds. You're engaging in a dialogue. Korach refused to engage in a dialogue. And then when he turns to Dasan v'Aviram, they refuse to even come to be within Moshe's presence to talk. They won't do it. And in response, so Moshe gets agitated. He sees there is no convincing these people. They will not engage. And that, unfortunately, is frequently the case. We've talked about it in the past. When somebody stakes out a position, they don't want their position to be challenged. Don't confuse me with the facts. I've already made up my mind. And Moshe says, don't accept their offering. Why might he think God would accept their offering? And the Meforshei Rashi say that there is, the Hachayim HaKadosh says, he quotes Chazal who says, Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekapeach schar kol beria. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't hold back any reward. And for sure, Ein l'cha adam she'en biyado mitzvos u'maisim tovim. There's no one, no Jew, no matter how bad he is, he still has some redeeming virtues, some redeeming acts that he's done in the past. And Moshe says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now is not the time to express that reward. Moshe has a different cheshbon. What's his cheshbon? What's his thinking here? So first of all, some of Meforshim say that there are two different things. When he says al tefenom and chasam, what he's really talking about is to Korach, about Korach, who the following day will engage in this test of offering ketores in a pan, and the one that gets the heavenly fire is the one who wins. Korach does not. And lo chamor echad mehem nasasi. There are various reasons why a person might, or how a person might corrupt his leadership. One of them is by taking things that belong to people privately. That's chamor echad mehem nasasi. I haven't taken even a donkey from them. And they might abuse individuals in their rights. And he says, lo harios echad mehem. I haven't done anything bad to them. The Netziv explains. You might say, this is out of character for Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu, after all, is the same one who, when he heard of Miriam speaking critically of him, he says, Kel no Rafanallah. He prays for Miriam. When he hears that Eldad and Medad are misnabim b'machane, that they're engaged in nevuah and in prophecy, and Yehoshua says, Adoni Moshe kla'im, lock them up, Yehoshua says. And Moshe says, Hamakanat Ali. He says, what, you're makpid, you're careful about my kavod, my honor. Don't worry about it. But here we have a difference. This is not about Moshe personally. This is about Klal Yisrael. If you have leaders among Klal Yisrael, and these were Kriyei Yida Anshe Shem, these are important people. And if they're taking positions and will not engage, they will not talk about it, all they do is they say, this is our position, and that's what you have to deal with, then that is a danger to Klal Yisrael. Moshe was defending Klal Yisrael by opposing Korach and Dasan Vavira.